yeah, nowadays, honestly, moving forward into the AC, um, even if you are architect, engineer, whatever you're going to become or you're studying for, is coding skills, my friends. That's what you need to focus. Coding language is going to become the second language. It's not normal, probably English or other languages. Coding, coding is the future.
Hey guys, this is Manisha and welcome back to yet another episode of the Archgyan podcast. Today we have with us Jose Oliveira, who is the founder of DiRoots. And DiRoots is a BIM digital consultancy firm based in the UK where they develop and specialize in the development of custom Autodesk, Bricsys, Bentley add-ins, plugins, web-based applications, and a whole lot more. So they essentially create automation tools to help make your work easy and also focus more on the BIM side of the project. Some of their top products which they've created and which is also free is SheetLink, which is a plugin for Revit that essentially helps in the import export of Revit data. Family Revisor, which helps in the management of Revit families. DiRoots Dynamo package, which contains useful tools to automate monotonous tasks in Revit. And they also have a very cool course on Dynamo, which is free and which is on YouTube. I will be putting up all the links and more in the description for this video and also in the podcast show notes. And coming to Jose, he is a graduate from the University of Salford, where he completed his MSc in BIM and Integrated Design. He has more than 10 plus years of continuous experience in the AEC industry and manufacturing. He is also known for his creative, unconventional ideas and being a futurist in our industry. So he's going to be sharing his entire journey in this episode, how he founded DiRoots, what they do as a company, their process, how they come up with solutions, dealing with clients, providing custom solutions to various companies around the world, his take on the BIM space and where it's headed, and a whole lot more. So I hope you like this episode. Please do leave us a like and also subscribe if you like our podcast channel. There's a whole lot more of episodes, content related to architecture, engineering, and construction coming up. So please do stay tuned. Thanks for listening, and let's jump straight to the episode. Also, before we head to the episode, you're going to see a change of my outfit, my hairstyle, and everything because this episode was actually recorded about 2-3 weeks back, and I only got time now to record the intro. So that's a small update on that. Now let's jump straight to the episode. All right, Jose, let's kick things off. You've been part of BIM for, I guess, more than a decade now, and but you actually have a background in physics. So give us a story about yourself and how you got into the BIM space.
Well. So you want to start for the hardest way, in the hard way. Let's say that way. What I meant is my background, my beginning of journey is a bit unusual, and even recently in our third anniversary, I told something that I haven't told before, or at least a few people knew that, but. Yeah, I had a dream at that time. I went to apply physics, but in my mind, my dream was to become a financial trader.
Oh,
So
nice.
you see, it's nothing related to where we are right now. Okay, all right, and yeah, and that was and even one of the things that I reveal or announce, during the third anniversary is the reason I came to UK was, to look for my, financial dream, which
Right.
by the way it did happen, but I was caught in a big wave, which we
Yeah.
call the credit crunch, and then I have to restart. Yeah, but that was my kind of my beginning. So in fact, I have nothing, I have no background in the industry. I learned a lot in the last decade, over a decade. Yes, but yeah, but it's a very unusual starting, I will say. Not the only one. I have come across a few people which they also start in financial markets, and somehow they end up moving into the AEC. I'm not the only one, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And now I guess it's going to get even more easier because of online education. I'm sure like a lot of people can get into BIM space very easily, even if they're from different backgrounds, right?
I don't think it's easy to
Okay.
get into the AC industry at all. There's a lot of, like in any industry, there's a lot of technical
Yeah.
expertise which it takes time to understand and develop. And even when I started my journey in the industry as a Revit MEP, modeler coordinator, and I have to learn a lot. Manish, I have to learn a lot, and it wasn't definitely a easy journey, especially because I was working MEP coordination side, which
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
a bit more complex. When we look into architectural structural fields, there's a lot more to take in consideration. There's a lot more work as well. So it's more time consuming than I think other disciplines, other fields in the industry. But yeah, it was, yeah. That's, yeah, I think you have to understand, try to understand to become, a professional in this field. I think it's not just about, online training, because as an example, if you look into how do you understand, MEP coordination, there is no online
Yeah.
training, as far I'm
Absolutely. Yeah.
aware, for MEP coordination. So it's about, every day learning, making mistakes, and understanding the mistakes to avoid them anyway. So
And you come a long way, and you've seen the transition of the AEC industry also in the past decade, right? Like we were mostly modeling our way for the whole night, I'm sure, like in the first few years, and now it's slowly turning to creating scripts, creating automations. So give us a brief about your skill set journey as well. I'm sure you started modeling a lot in the start of your career, and then you transitioned to take up various roles in various companies, and now you started a company called DiRoots, so which creates this. It's a cool, very awesome, cool plugin which creates automations for Revit, and it comes as a package for Dynamo, I guess. So give us a background about DiRoots and your journey in the skill sets side of things.
that's the big question. I have to tell you. You ask into a lot of things in the same point.
Yeah.
In regarding to my journey, um, yeah, as you know, I found this opportunity and I have joined. And since then, definitely when I joined, the industry, I was a Revit MEP coordinator. So my main task was coordinating, the design consultants' drawings and prepare these for construction, for installation. So that's what I was, doing. And yeah, initially it was focused on modeling mainly,
Hmm.
my task. Of course, things evolve. I from Mill Technology, which was my first company in the industry and the one that opened the opportunity to work here. I did work with few companies in the industry, and mainly also in regarding to Revit MEP, because I was probably one lucky one. I started with the first version of Revit MEP, a
Right.
long time ago, was Revit to 2008, Revit MEP 2008. And that gave me, of course, generate new opportunities. Because at that time I was one of the few which had a really
Okay.
some experience and
You are the
understanding about
OG
the
in
tool.
Revit MEP.
No, no technology, but there was definitely a demand, because when I start my journey, one of the observations I can tell you, and is everyone was criticizing Gravity. No one liked it, and
Right.
because the two they were more used to CAD or AutoCAD drawings, and the style looks different. You see, so there was a lot of criticism. I remember that, and even stupid comments I can say in some drawings. You just do it in CAD and doing Revit, something like that, doing AutoCAD. Yeah, but that was my journey, and at the beginning begins. So, and then of course, like I said, yeah, I become quite good in Revit MEP at
Hmm.
that time, and because that's the only thing I used to do.
Hmm.
I don't have AutoCAD experience, which is another surprise for many people.
Okay.
I don't work with AutoCAD. Of course, I know a few things about AutoCAD, but not a lot. I tell you, I can't draw
Okay.
really in AutoCAD. I never tried. I never, I never wanted to learn, and but that's my journey anyway. So I always refused to learn. But also, at some point, I remember a long time ago that when I was, I had like 3 years experience in Revit, but without AutoCAD, it was very hard to find a job. And I was in need to find a job because my company, that first company, it was collapsing at that
Right.
time.
Right.
And I felt that, and I have to look, and it was very hard, but I really found someone that was looking just for my Revit MEP skills, and it was fantastic. So I move on. And since then was quite easy, the journey. When I say, a lot of opportunities came up, I help a lot of people. I train a lot of people.
Hmm.
I develop a lot of stuff in Revit MEP.
Hmm.
And then at some point as well, when the journey for the, for example, for the computational design, it
Mm-hmm.
start more or less when I joined WSP.
Mm-hmm.
I became very, very curious in regarding to what we can do with these dynamos and grasshoppers and other tools.
Nice.
And but I didn't have that time to become, more practical because I was the UK BIM director for WSP.
Wow.
And but I learned Dynamo, was one of the first to learn Dynamo. But in fact, I don't consider myself a Dynamo expert. We have
Okay.
good training as well. But what we're doing now, we're more focused in the Revit API part,
Mm-hmm.
connecting, to C Sharp and do other
Nice.
type of automation. As you know, the we got the DiRoots plugins. So I'm not we do Dynamo, but definitely is not the things we personally like to do,
Mm-hmm.
for several reasons as well. It's not the best tool in my opinion. It's good for, for some purpose, but not for all. And at the end, what even we are to, as a business, we are noticing is a lot of people are coming to us with their best Dynamo scripts and they say we need to convert these to a Revit, C Sharp code. We're
Mm-hmm.
having a lot of problems to maintain and updates, and there's a lot of work. So the way forward looks to me that is going to be different anyway. But Dynamo, of course, is a begin of for visual programming, which is also good and help people to understand the power of automation
Yeah.
is excellent. But I think in the future we are moving into a different direction. Even I believe as well, visual programming, it will evolve a lot in the next few years, and
Mm-hmm.
it will become easier and more accessible as well to users, because sometimes working with visual programming tools is still not easy, and we see a lot
Yeah.
of people coming to us struggling. And that's why, I think, our Dynamo course is very successful, because we try to explain the logic
And it's free,
of
right?
Dynamo. Yeah, it's free. Everything we
Yeah.
do is
Yeah.
free, or not everything we do,
All
because
right.
we do a lot of custom solutions, for the industry, and we work with private clients or clients that they want to create their own tools and taking advantage of automation or
Mm-hmm.
even efficiency, because it's not just about automation; it's about efficiency and
Mm-hmm.
getting results, more efficiently. So yeah, that's what kind of automation can bring to us. So I'm just trying to figure out. I didn't went through all my
Yeah, it's very interesting.
but that was my journey anyway. A little bit from modeling to now computational design, and now even into more heavy coding. So I will say.
Right. So I'm sure, like, so I'm doing a master's program where they it teaches about agile methodology, having an agile approach. Um, so have you guys implemented an agile approach in bringing solutions? Because I'm sure it's unless you don't have a proper structured company to create plugins or create scripts, it's going to be all over the place, right? So give us a brief about the process in DRoots to create a plugin, to create a software, either custom based or even general in general.
Regarding to the process we have, it depends, on the is it our tools or our client tool.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, for our tools, as you know, we have 8 plugins. We are definitely trying to merge everything into one plugin, but
Mm-hmm.
that is something we're looking forward to do next year. And the approach we do, we're looking to develop tools normally, but they can cover the basic needs of any Revit user. So we're not just looking to develop,
Mm-hmm.
tools for structures of architectures of MEP. We're looking for all. So that's the key, one of the key points for us. When we're evaluating a new tool that we are creating or improvements, we are creating existing tools,
Mm-hmm.
which I don't know if you notice, we are always doing these kind of improvements all the time. So that's what we look. We look for tools. At the moment, we came across to a point that there is not much more, we can, I think, do in terms of the new tools. There are one or two fields which we could explore, and we are exploring, like the automation of annotation.
Mm-hmm.
But I think maybe our dream is a bit too big, and due to Revit limitations, it's almost impossible to make the tool what we see it or we dream it feasible. So there are some huge limitations in part of Revit API to do this kind of automation, and sometimes it's very hard as well.
Mm-hmm.
People don't understand. when we do a tool for custom, a custom specific custom is sometimes simple because they have their own style, they have templates, they
Mm-hmm.
follow certain rules, if they follow, because not everyone follows rules.
Yeah.
But what happens is when we come into our plugins is open to anyone, so they become sometimes a bit more challenging because you have to understand, different situation, or even have to forecast different scenarios, which we need to use the tool. But that is more or less the kind of process. I'm not going to explain all the steps, of course, but
Yeah.
we evaluate definitely the need for everyone. We want to create tools for everyone, not just for specific people or specific disciplines. For specific disciplines, what we have our custom, development, which we can help people, and we, of course, we looking to develop these kind of private tools, or custom tools for these people.
All right. Uh, for the benefit of our listeners, they're a bit confused about like having Revit plugins. What is the point of having plugins? It's just drawings. We'll have to create drawings and generate them out. So, could you give us an example of a particular tool that you guys have created, which has helped probably a lot of people, and what exactly that tool is all about? So, it gives us
No.
an idea of what DiRoots actually does.
We got 8 tools, as I said, for Revit at this stage, and the most popular at the moment we have is definitely ProSheets. ProSheets is a tool which helps users to create drawings, and everyone in Revit creates drawings. It's an extremely useful tool. Um, because it comes to a basic need of any Revit user.
Yeah.
So on that tool, what people like in this tool is the fact that they can export, or generate new PDFs, DWGs, DGNs, or other file formats in one go. So
Nice.
instead of repeating, exporting, and more than that, what I do love in that tool, which seems sometimes is not very known, I have to admit. And we are, in fact, trying to create, we are going to make a profound, upgrade on the UI user interface to help the user experience as well.
Hmm.
But what the people can do as well in this tool is create a custom building number. So whenever they are exporting, they can tell, I want with this revision, with this date or whatever. They can create some custom fields to
Nice.
add in a drawing number, or even like me, I never like to have this big drawing number
Yeah.
that we use, for example, in the UK, following the
BIM.
standards.
Yeah.
Yeah, I use normally a small my project browser in Revit, but the parameters are all in the Revit, so I can extract,
Nice.
and that ProSheets allows users to do that. So it's quite simple and it's very, very time efficient. So
All right.
and that's why probably is the number one. Is our number one too in terms of downloads, because people
Yeah,
really
you guys
love it. It
had like
saves a lot of time.
50,000 plus downloads, right?
Oh, we are very close to 100. I have to tell you.
Oh, okay. Nice. Uh,
We are very close to 100. I think maybe in 2 or 3 weeks we'll be 100,000.
wow, awesome. All right.
Well,
Uh,
indeed, Manish, for our industry, this is a huge number.
yeah.
And, and in taking consideration that we only relaunched our first tool 2.5 years ago, more or less, uh, it is a big achievement. And yeah,
And this,
some people will understand these numbers. And there's, 100,000 is nothing. We got apps, with a million or over. But yeah, we are AC, we are
yeah,
just
yeah,
Revit anyway,
it's
focus,
actually
or
a
at
pretty
least
good number.
working. See, it's an excellent number. It's an outstanding, I will tell you.
And yeah, you guys, whoever's listening to this, you guys need to follow Jose on LinkedIn because each and every post is very interesting. The recent post which he did was Scan to BIM, where you can automate point cloud to having, I guess now you guys have only walls and floors. I'm not really sure, but they're going to build the entire system where you just point cloud, scan a place,
Yeah.
and the BIM model is ready to go. So give us, a brief about that awesome
I'm glad,
plugin
I'm,
which is going to come
I'm
out.
glad you touched on that question, and I was not expecting. Just so everyone knows as well, what happens as well regarding that project. We have in fact put that project on hold.
Hmm.
So and I haven't really mentioned anything so far, and we have put that project on hold. And the reason the reasons are very, very simple. I think we are very, very close to get that. We definitely have the potential to get that in much less time than many people have been trying for now. We were close. But we coming to a point now, Manish, where you were using deep learning, and it was becoming very costly for us,
Mm-hmm.
and we didn't have the financial, in fact, support to carry on this journey.
Right.
And we have four people full time in this project, until recently, until we stopped. So it was very hard for us to maintain these. We tried to find some kind of support, from the community, and definitely there was a lot of people interest, but we didn't, more than this interest, there was no action. So unfortunately, is a project we stopped, and I'm not sad or whatsoever. It's just, it's part of the journey, and
Mm-hmm.
in fact, when you invest in technology, and you have to learn sometimes to stop. And I learned my lesson, or in this case, our lesson was to stop, even not just because of the cost. Like I said, we also have another ideas, and at that time, we also felt to make this commercial license, it will take us around a year. We
Mm-hmm.
have another year to go, and more than that, I was a bit afraid, and I have to tell you that at the end, this tool, it could become an expensive tool, and it is against our kind of vision we have. We are here to create free tools or affordable tools, and that one I couldn't see as an affordable tool, which honestly is one of the basic rules we have here. If we do something, for example, it's free, we're going to create also commercial tools, which we're going to distribute and sell, not the ones we have now. And let's make that very, very clear. I made a few already announcements on that
All
because
right.
there was a lot of questions. But now, yeah, but we have to stop, and it was part of the journey. But like I said, it's just not about stopping. We learn a lot on this project. Amazing experience we have. We have a strong team, more than that, and
Mm-hmm.
they ready now and working in a second, new project, which we haven't announced yet. Hopefully, we're going to get something affordable,
Nice.
and also at the same time, it's a very useful tool. But unfortunately, anyway, I have no good news about the automation for point clouds. Yeah, that's the journey, and yeah, there was a lack of support, which we didn't ask for any directly money, but at the end we needed some support, and we didn't get it. So
Yeah, hopefully after the podcast, probably you'll get some investors to invest in it, I guess.
well, believe me, I'm not. We're not looking for investors, and one of the things we're very, very proud of, Manish, and is we don't have investors, with us, and we don't want investors. In fact, anyway, we're not looking for investors. Let's say that.
Mm-hmm.
Let's rephrase a little bit. We are happy for the journey we are taking, and without having these kind of financial investors with us. Because when you open a door to an investor, it comes with a much more challenge,
Yeah.
and knowing a few companies that took that path, they not some of them are struggling now, because
Mm-hmm.
remember, the investor comes with a purpose to make money, and we
Mm-hmm.
here also, of course, we have to make money. We have to pay salaries.
Yeah.
We have a team of 16 right now, and we have to pay a salary. Not you have to pay salary. Sorry, not salaries. And yeah, but more than that, it's just we like our journey. We like to become, we are independent, and we don't have to follow the money,
Mm-hmm.
trend or the money need. So yeah, let's say that way. We're happy the way we are, without pressure from investors or capitalists. So
Yeah, I guess you're happy creating awesome solutions for the AEC industry. So that's more satisfying in itself, right? So I guess money comes later.
yeah, yeah. Like I said, the money needed, but anyway, at this stage, we just don't want any investors. We don't need investors.
Yeah.
We don't feel that need, and we can grow with the support of the community, and what we can do as well. We develop. So
All right. What's your take on Autodesk monopoly in the industry? There's been a lot of articles written about Autodesk being a monopoly, and a lot of I guess the 15 architects wrote an open letter to Autodesk, and there was a problem. So, um, are you planning to provide solutions even for other tools, and maybe even for open BIM? So because now everything is going to be interoperable and open. So, are you going to be providing solutions for two softwares like Archicad, or is it only going to be focused more only for Revit?
Not only Autodesk. We work. In fact, we are partners from Autodesk, partners of Bentley, and partners of Bricsys as well. So
Mm,
we even recently, finalized this process
mm,
with Bricsys. So and we are planning to do, a tool for BricsCAD BIM. We are planning, so we waiting for the, some ideas on that. So regarding what people criticize or not Autodesk. I think I made a short statement on that. And yeah, I understand the other side, but I'm also working with both sides.
yeah.
So it's a very tricky question. And at the end, I don't see, if people not happy, they don't pay. It's so simple
Mm,
like this. That's the rule. And you're not happy what you pay, don't pay it, don't use it. Anyways, just move on. They People tend to criticize a lot, and I understand as well now more than ever, that people don't understand as well the cost of development, how
mm,
much is costly to develop tools and create tools, improve
mhm,
tools, and that's the big problem. But I really don't have much to say about that. I don't even, make a side. I understand, like I said, the frustration somehow. But like I said, you're not happy, just use something else. And I do know that Autodesk is looking to something bigger, and like any other, software house in the industry. So they're all investing, and this takes time to develop tools. I know that I got experience with a point cloud automation, and I'm a very very small player in the industry. So yeah, it comes with a lot of challenge. It comes with a lot of money, and to maintain a company like Autodesk is quite critical. So yeah, like going another point, you asked me as well about, yes, we have plans, to do other tools. We do custom
mm.
tools not only for Revit, in fact, and unfortunately, we are famous. Unfortunately, I don't know. We are famous for the Revit plugins or add-ins.
Mm,
But we do much more than just Revit, and we do custom solutions that doesn't touch any kind of software that we normally heard. We
mhm,
do definitely, yeah, specialize in the industry, and we want to work with companies that they want to automate. Automate doesn't mean just working in Revit. Is we can do even their own tool in many ways. So that's what we can do. We can full develop a tool from scratch, web application or a platform application, a cloud base, whatever is required, we can do. So we don't have that just association, and I don't want to have that association. In fact, just to Autodesk, the market is too big. We are here to help people to do the system integration, and I think the future is about system integration more than just interoperability. Is about system integration, and that's the key, and that's what the roots does. So that's why we are partner of more than just Autodesk.
nice. And talking about web-based, do you see a shift towards more of web-based applications where you can design and render, or even coordinate a BIM model on a certain website like BIM Sync or BIM Collab or certain other websites as well?
I definitely see web-based power solutions because they can be, powered by the cloud, and there is a lot of advantage in using that. As we know, not all the projects can be in the cloud because they are always, client requirements, or that they don't allow, business to take their projects to the cloud. And I see the evolution is going to be web-based. You don't need a lot of installations of 10 gigs. It's going to be play and run almost. I believe we coming to that stage, Manish. We are moving forward, but the full web base is, I think it will take more than 5 years, at least
Right.
much more than 5 years, because they are kind of security concerns
Yeah.
or privacy concerns in terms of solutions. Even as our solution, that the one we are moving now, and we are now in the research phase, the idea is to start with a desktop application, as an example. But of course, we want to move to web-based application as well. So have the facility to have both. I
Nice.
think is important. No, it's important because not everyone will just want web-based.
Yeah.
So they need to have the two solutions, because clients at the end, they make the decision. So, and they tell us if you want or not in the cloud. Of course, I think with this COVID situation, a lot of things accelerate, and a lot of things they must be in the cloud because it's the only way we can have people collaborating together and working in these circumstances, correct? Because not everyone can go to the office nowadays. Even now, we are in a second
Yeah.
lockdown in the
Yeah.
UK, and they asking, to people, if you can't work from home, work from home. Of course, if you have to work to your working place, you must do so. But I think it's coming. It's coming definitely, but will take more than 5 years. But I believe definitely in the future is going to be mainly, web-based applications, which the benefit is going to be huge because they can work like a hybrid solution. They will use your your the power of your machine, your laptop, or
Yeah.
workstation, and then they will use the powers of the cloud.
Absolutely. Um, Brilliant. So, tell us about how talking about lockdown. I'm sure you transitioned pretty easily working remotely. So, could you tell us about the systems which you have placed so that you can work remotely more efficiently, like the tools which you use, and tell us also about a lot of architects now are transitioning into the software space, developing tools for their own use and for maybe a plugin. So. How difficult was the transition to a software based company?
Going to the first part of your question, and for us, it was not a big deal.
Yeah.
The COVID situation. The team, DiRoots team, is a global team. We are a small international team. Everyone works, from home at DiRoots, which is excellent for us. Also help us to keep our overheads low. Of course, we have plans for expansion, and we will make that happen next year, and we will have an office as well. I'm planning to expand international as well a little bit. Regarding the second question, can you repeat, Manish, because I couldn't associate this to the first.
Yeah, my second question is about a lot of architects now learning software tools, and we are always used to that a traditional model of working where there's no good systems in place. But with software and developing software, you need good systems in place. So I wanted to know what tools you use, like for example, Slack or maybe a Scrum board or Trello. So what is your process in and how did you
Okay.
transition? Yeah,
Uh, in terms of technology we use Jira. This is one of
right.
the solutions we use. We got the repository, which is GitLab, and we own these repositories on our server. We don't have that, exposed. And that's the main tools we use. Of course, then we go to Visual Studio and other small tools for other tasks like advanced installer. Now we purchase a license for to create installers because we're using the free way.
Yeah.
So we are investing a little bit in our tools. We have other tools which I don't want to mention as well, but we have after more tools, in the process. But as being a company that provides a lot of free content for the
Mhm.
industry, we have to slowly purchase these because it's quite expensive, to purchase some licensings. And for us, because we don't have, direct earnings from what we create, it becomes a bit complex as well. But we are step by step with the support we are getting that.
All right, great. And how you've implemented, I mean, AI and machine learning is buzzwords, but I'm sure you're going to be implementing it in a big way in the long run. So, what are your plans of getting AI and ML into D-Roots?
As you know, and if you go back to the point cloud automation, we definitely touch a lot of AI. And well, Anail explains one of the reasons why we dropped the project or we suspended the project is was because it was becoming very costly for us. And because the problem with our AI is there are a lot of challenges with AI, and like you said, it's a buzzword. And but I prefer not to talk. We wrote 2 articles on these, and
Mhm.
not long time ago. But this is a very controversial topic because A lot of people are claiming they're using something and not, in fact, not using anything. But anyway, moving on. So yeah, the problem with the machine learning is better, but when you go to deep learning, it becomes very, very costly. But more than that, it's understanding, what you're touching. And for if you really want to become good in AI, it's just not about, taking some of these, frameworks or libraries outside there, your codes, algorithms already developed by someone. Is understanding how we can improve it, because many times we don't create anything in AI. We use something available, but it's about understanding what these algorithm reading and making the training when if you have to use neural networks or other things. But like I said, we have done and we use, and it was a great experience. We have some plans. Even last week we discussed something new. We were looking to develop some kind of proof of concept, using deep learning again, but a deep learning, achievable deep learning. I think this one is going to be a great example how we can use deep learning in our industry. And
Yes.
but I would want. He's not. He's like I said. It was. He's a fresh idea, and I don't want to open it yet. But definitely going to start to look into that. And I think we can probably develop a proof of concept in a few weeks. In a few weeks, when I say a few weeks, at least 3 or 4 weeks, or at least something in house. Yeah, because that one they might not require a lot of training,
Mhm.
training of data sets. So yeah, so we'll see. But definitely, there's a lot of people using, and I believe they are also good use of the AI. And but sometimes it's finding the problems where we can use AI, and that's what it's not about just using AI. AI is there to predict and to some kind as well optimize as well. We can use AI to mainly to predict and optimize, and he's finding the problem that we're going to get the answer. So he's finding structure of the problem, and then we can get the answer. I will say,
All right.
if
And
it's possible to applicable. sorry, sorry, Manish.
yeah, no. So, where do you see the future of BIM? Do you see the whole of Earth being a digital twin, like an Earth twin of everything, all the buildings and all the structures, and everything is smart, everything is coordinated. The virtual and reality is blurred. So things along those lines. So do you feel a utopian future like that may happen within our lifetimes?
I do think that the world is changing, and I'm loving in that journey. In fact, the roots emerged from that probably need or having that vision. The roots means disruptive roots, and I love disruptive technologies, so they all associated. We can disrupt in many ways that people don't understand. It's just not about innovation technologies. There's many ways we can disrupt. And one of the things I also like in the fourth industrial revolution, this is technically
Yeah,
already starting, is going to change the world, is going to disrupt the world in many ways, not just from a
absolutely.
technological point of view, socially, economically, political. A lot of things will change. We might probably not see all of that change, but what we see, what I believe, we are building a better world
Yeah,
anyway in the future. So all that is going to placing in and the place, we have to adapt these. We have to adapt our jobs. We have to adapt a lot of things. Are we going to embrace this technology, emerging technology that is coming up? And even if you look what the experts, I'm not expert, really the experts are saying we can't forecast what is coming
mhm.
next. Is with the pace that we are evolving technologies is amazing, never seen before. And we don't know what is coming, what is going to be the next new thing, in the next 10 years. We can't predict anymore. And that's what, like I said, the expert says, no, me saying, I don't know nothing.
Yeah,
Anyway, I
yeah.
just have a vision. I wanted to improve, help people and improve life as well. And I think we can play a role here. Um, but I got a bit lost, I have to admit, Manish, in the question. So if you can drag me back.
Yeah, yeah, it's more about the future of BIM and how it plays a
Yeah.
role in our
Exactly, because okay,
organization.
got you now. And you talk about digital twin now, and in terms of that, the future of BIM, I don't believe the word BIM. At the end,
Yeah.
is about technology and mainly as well about process. And one of the things I learned, when I took my master's in BIM and Integrated Design, is BIM is all about communication and collaboration. That's something that we never done very well in the industry,
Mm.
and we know the reasons, and there's no point to discuss about that. So we're here to help. BIM is there to help the process, define a process, and that's what BIM is about. The process is a concept, not technology itself.
Yeah.
Technology have a big place as well, because they can help these communication, because with tools we can communicate much better. Exchanging 3D models, or the way we communicate, it can improve. So visualization is important. And regarding digital twin, I really get confused about that. And now IoT as well, because IoT,
Yeah.
digital twin, and BIM, and there is a lot of definitely again another buzzword in digital twin, and which I believe that already exists in this BIM world we are
Yeah.
talking about. It's all about data. It's all about data at the end, which in fact as well, if you want to be honest, data is not a key concern at the moment in our industry. It's all about the modeling part. It's about the living projects. So we have to make a big, a step forward to try to use the data in the right way. And when I think we start to use the data, the right way, we probably will be able to take more advantage of that data, and then digital twins or IoT, whatever you want to associate with these big data, they have, they can probably work much better. At the moment, I think we are a bit behind in terms of what we need, for the next step. And if you want to call digital twins, or if you want to call beam level, I don't know, whatever, because people also like,
Yeah.
they like to create dimensions. So yeah, it's just the way. It depends how we're going to evolve. But definitely one of the things I know, it's all about the process. If you have a process defined, everything makes like easier. Even like when you're coding, if you have no rules, you can't code. It's about coding. Coding needs a process, needs a structure to be developed and to be efficient. So,
Absolutely.
and we lack that. We lack a lot, in fact, anyway, still.
Great. What's your take on the startup scene in the AC industry? There's been startups in so many other industries apart from ours, and if you see the innovation graph as well, the AC industry has been flat for 2-3 decades, but now it's starting to take off on top. So, how do you feel there's going to be a lot more startups entering the AC industry just like yours, and the competition increasing?
Of course, there will be. There's a nature of human, and creating, innovating, and also starting their own business. So I and I'm seeing a lot more people trying to start their own journey in a different ways. Working part time for one job and doing this on a part time. There's a lot of companies emerging, definitely. If they're going to be more, I have no doubts there will be much more. If they're all going to survive, that's what studies tells. Not everyone survives, and yeah, but definitely it was going to be good to have competition. But yeah, I will have a different view on that. But I'm not going to pronounce my view on that. No, I don't, because it's all about the money side again, and it's about investors and capitalists coming again and controlling, dominating the startups market. That's what we see nowadays, and that's a topic which definitely, I see many companies evolving on this, funding, which is fine. Anyway, that's a journey. But yeah, at the end, yeah, we are getting startups, but at the end, I don't know if that startup, some of them will survive because of the financial, risk, or the financial investment that they receive. And it's tricky, because even in the industry, we're talking, if you look into the AEC industry, our profit margins are very low compared to other
Yeah.
industries. So people really struggle to invest, in technology. So when you invest, they have to bring something which brings benefit, which brings, return on investment, and that could be a very, very tricky, because what I do see is a lot of companies coming, with new products and selling, and that's the key point. Really, I don't want to personally open a lot, but
Yeah.
and the industry will become saturated of this, and we see a lot of duplication, and the only thing we see is just different numbers, but they're all expensive, and that's the problem we have in the industry. Sometimes this adoption, it doesn't happen because of the costs.
All right. Do you feel like I don't know? I'm very naive about this, but do you feel like the tech unicorns like Apple or Tesla or Amazon, if they would get into the space, the AEC space in some way, Do you feel a huge disruption in our industry where things get automated? We get automated designs. Most of it is at the push of a button. Do you feel that kind of a future coming?
I do believe that is the future, and maybe far away, not in the next five years, but maybe in 10, maybe in 15. And not saying all of it, but if you divide these by project stage or project phase, probably we can probably create a scoped project, concept design project in with one step or almost one step. When I say one step, it's just not clicking. You have to put your inputs to generate some outputs. I see that. I'm not sure if the big players they will try to come to the AEC industry for the reasons that we know. Even the reasons we just talk about
Yeah,
profit margins are quite low in our
low.
industry, and even if you look extractly, with Google tried and they went out as well. Google came and with SketchUp and said, no, 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 this is not our place.
Yeah,
And I'm not, see, I don't know, Manish, but it's all about looking to numbers. I think looking to figures, and I see people coming definitely where they see the money. Because at the end, these companies only come if they see the opportunity to make money, correct? And they're not looking for for peanuts. Yeah, they're looking for something else. You
yeah,
see, so they could come if they will survive. Probably they have capital to keep this moving and definitely invest a lot. But probably the question is why they haven't come before,
mm,
and that's
yeah,
I can't answer. But maybe we know the answer. I don't know.
absolutely. All right. Uh, Coming to a close, Jose, what is your future going to be like in 10 years from now? Where do you see yourself maybe 10 years from now? And where do you see D-Roots going?
Ooh, I don't know. I have a lot of dreams. In 10 years' time, yeah, I think we will be definitely one of the companies to come when you come to creating your own solutions or to improve your workflows. We are becoming, and somehow in some aspects, and with respect to the others, players in the industry, we're becoming a reference in the industry, which is good. Of course, we want to become the number one in the industry reference on the custom side. That's the target, and that's what we're aiming for. We will keep creating tools, free tools, and also some affordable tools. That's another target. In 10 years' time, I think we will probably be a good company, and we'll have a good name. I think the name we already have, the branding, is playing well for us. People really like what we do. They love our work. They love our vision, the way we do things, and which is important for us. But then we'll see. Definitely, we will grow in terms of numbers, in many numbers. Number of employees. Revenue, of course, that will grow. But yeah, like I said, I want to become the number one, and that's what we're going to become. No doubt.
All right. Brilliant. Awesome. So thanks a lot, Jose. I guess we can now. But there's something which I didn't ask before. Can I ask it now?
Of course, you can.
uh, yeah, why did you decide to leave a company and start something called D-Roots? What is the reason behind starting D-Roots?
I haven't left. I was made redundant before I started Roots,
Okay,
and I was working for WSP, and I think I made an announcement, a week ago, almost a week ago, telling that that's the one the Roots
right,
emerged. So I got made redundant. They cancel, they made my position redundant. So and I have to move on, and I look for alternatives in the market. But in fact,
right,
Manish, I couldn't see anything, that really I wanted to be part of, and he looks like my one more job. And I came to a point in my life as well that I said to say, why not? I can get my own thing. I was already inspired by these disruptive technologies that were emerging in the industry, and said, yeah, others can do. Why not? I cannot do as well. And I tried. I tried here, and after 3 years, I'm still here, stronger than ever, growing year by year, and the team is growing. And I start this journey alone. Even I tried, when I start the journey of the roots, I tried to contact a few people if I want to join, yeah, and some people said yes, but of course they couldn't commit full time. So, but yeah, we start this journey alone. Uh, the roots is here to disrupt. So the roots means D for disruptive roots. So we're here to disrupt the roots. We're here to make things in a different way, and that's
Nice.
what people start also to capture about us. We're here to do things in a different way. There is no one in the industry doing free tools like we do
Yeah.
with the quality we do, and that's something we are very proud. Not just me, the team, and more than that, we are passionate but about what we do. And this is something definitely fascinating for me to see this support I have on my back. My team is supporting me, and yeah, and that's what probably is going to make our journey very successful at the end anyway, and maybe we'll see. We never know.
Right. And as a founder, how challenging is it to run a firm on a scale from 1 to 10? I think it sounds a dumb question, but still.
He says hard, of course. One of the other day I was reading someone talking about setting your own business, whether startup or not, anyway. And when you start your own business, your life becomes a bit different anyway.
Yeah.
It's never going to be back the same. And that article that is in the subject, which I find interesting, is if you become your own, you have your own business, special startup, you are very competitive and you are competing with the bigger players or with more capital, let's say,
Hmm.
is very, very hard. But one thing is a fact, when you start your business, your own business, is the holiday. Forget holidays. There's no more holidays as it used to be. You know, even I don't know why, but I have to admit, I wake up every day thinking about work. So that didn't happen before, or it used to happen a few less times. Now it's kind of often, but it's a definitely it's a hard journey, and people they are looking to create their own journey and start their own business. They have to be ready. Is a big life change, and yeah, nothing's going to be back as it used to be, and there's a lot of things to learn. Even people need to be ready to adapt, adapt, be flexible is important to survive. The world is very competitive, is very open, as we know. So today we working with people, clients from all around the world. So every company can do the same as we do. So it's very, very competitive. And yeah, we have, if we want to survive, we have really to become very, very good and known for the quality of your service, quality of your work. If you become that, it will pay off at the end anyway. And business comes to you, and that's a good
Right.
thing. People are coming to us now. We're not trying to find clients anymore. People come to us. So, but it's not an easy journey. And every
Have
time
you
I
ever
speak,
had
because
burnouts?
burnouts. What do you mean?
Yeah.
So in terms of burnouts?
As in getting stressed out but with a lot of work and just burning out and not doing any work after that.
Uh, I don't know. Burnouts this happens over. I think every time there are situations in life that you got stressed definitely, and it affects you. But it's like we all human, correct? I know
Yeah.
some are different. I'm Latin, remember at the end I'm Portuguese,
Okay.
and we we have this big passion. We Latins are known for the passion, and we really live things. But that's a good thing, and it could be bad. But yeah, but that is common, man. Is burnouts and stress situations, they always come. But of course, we have to take it the easiest way. But it's always easier to talk than to do it.
All right.
Or easier to say than to do it.
Awesome. Thanks a lot, Jose. Let's quickly jump to the quick fire round. I'll ask you a bunch of brief questions and you could give me brief answers.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. I'm sure you had like a lot of mentors in your life. Who's inspired you the most or who have been your mentors?
Tricky question. I don't know. I I normally admire people that work very, very hard, and And because success comes with the hard work and it doesn't fall from the skies. So in terms of mentor, I don't have any mentor. I must admit, I would love to have one, Manish. I've been inspired by a few people, but I don't have I have to tell you, I don't have someone that really inspired me a lot. Is I kind of build my own journey, so I don't have a straight answer for you. When
Right.
I mean, I don't have a name or a few names, but in terms of work commitment, if you ask me, I probably admire Cristiano Ronaldo. In terms of work commitment, is one of the.
Nice.
It is, people criticize him for a lot of reasons, but Ronaldo, he came to the world. He has talent, but he worked very very hard to be where he is now. So he's just, I think he's a big recognition of that Ronaldo became what he is today, or to what became. He was, I don't know, many times the best player of the world, football player in the
Yeah.
world, because he worked hard for that. So it's about working, dedication, and many other things. So
Yeah, I'm a big Messi fan, but yeah,
all
CR7
right,
is up there as well.
yeah, Messi came with the talent. He's different. He can.
Yeah.
Ronaldo is more about hard work. It's for a lot of hard work.
All right. What does a daily routine in your life look like as a founder, as a LinkedIn
Mm.
25,000
Well,
plus followers?
I you definitely, I start my day, at 6, more or less a.m. and yeah, do breakfast, shower, everything, and then I'm around 6:30. I'm in my desk already, which is this one, and I start work, and then of course, we got emails, calls, meetings, discussions, and like any business anyway, it's quite nice. And my day normally ends, between around 10 again, so
Oh,
10
wow.
evening. So yeah, or sometimes even a bit late. Of course, I have a few breaks, lunch break. Well, lunch break is not really a good one. No, many times a 5-10 minutes break, and but I do have like a evening in the dinner break for half an hour, or more or less, maybe less
Wow.
sometimes. Yeah, but that's the kind of journey. It's a lot of hours anyway, Manish.
That's a lot of
A lot of
work.
hours.
Yeah,
Yeah,
awesome.
I used to do even work 7 days a week. Now I gave up. It's just,
Whoa.
I work 6 days a week. I take the Saturday off. I dedicate it to my family, and on Sunday I work a little bit. I definitely work, prepare a few things ahead, for the week. Accounting, because when we are startup, you have to be flexible. Remember, I said you have to be flexible and to do a lot of things anyway. So.
So you don't travel much, is it?
I used to travel before the COVID, and I'm glad COVID, well, COVID helped to me, to help a lot,
Yeah,
in many, many ways. It helped because, our popularity has
grew
grown a lot.
exponentially.
Mm,
Yeah.
yeah. And, yeah, they come with other good things. Like I used to travel every, like 4 days a week. Even I used to fly every week in the past to visit one of our clients.
Oh, wow.
But with the COVID situation now is just more nice, I will
Mm.
say.
More productive as well, I guess.
Yeah, yeah, you you end up spending more time in this desk.
Yeah.
You definitely, for sure, you're spending much more time in this desk.
All right. And how do you stay fit if you're working all the time?
Pete, forget that. Let's move on. A new question, please.
All right. Um, do you recommend any books that you would read, or I mean, you read, or some books which has inspired you?
There is one book which really inspired me a lot, and I heard, because I had the audiobook. Is the what do you call? I'm just checking the name here. Let me see. Is I'm not good with names. Okay,
Yeah.
I always forget names. Is the fourth industrial revolution, from the chairman of the World Economic Forum, which
Right.
is, I can't remember his name. His German name is Schoff something. But it definitely is a great book. It's a book that really, opened my mind, or made my mind, probably, to create a new world. The world is coming, and is a great inspiration. It's one of my favorite books. that I read or hear in the last few years. Definitely, I love it. And I heard, like I said, twice because I really
Oh,
wanted
wow.
to rethink again, create these, ideas in my mind. And it's a big inspiration for me, definitely, because this journey, of disrupting, it needs to have some base, and that book is a great base.
Yeah, I think I'm going to read that book next, I guess.
Yeah, it's a short book. I'm pretty sure. And if you got Audible, I don't want to make any advertising to Amazon, but he's there, so it's quite nice as well. Definitely, easy
All
book.
right.
I think it's a few hours of listening only.
Great. Awesome. And my last question to you is I generally ask to like all the architects, what advice would you give to architects, young architects who are graduating from school? But what your advice would you give to someone who wants to get into the BIM space, wants to get in the AEC industry?
I'm thinking. Uh, yeah, nowadays, honestly, moving forward into the AC, um, even if you are architect, engineer, whatever you're going to become or you're studying for, is coding skills, my friends. That's what you need to focus. Coding language is going to become the second language. It's not normal probably English or other languages. Coding, coding is the future. And if you know how to code, definitely, you'll have a better, a better, a safer position, because
Yeah.
the market will have a lot of turmoils, and in the future we'll see more of that. And having coding skills is a must, I would say, for any new individual that comes to the AEC industry. I mean, even other industries. Having
Right.
coding skills is a must. Understanding how works codes, how you can code is a must. Focus on that, and if you know that, believe me, you will never have problems to find new jobs whenever that time comes.
Awesome. Awesome, Jose. That was some great advice. And we had a fantastic session. A lot of takeaways and a lot of value that you brought to the table. So thank you for coming to the Archgyan podcast. And I look forward to having you in the future as well, where we can talk more about BIM, your life, and more.
Okay, thank you very much for my list for the invite. It was a great pleasure, and I wish you well. Thank you.
All right. Great.